This is 1031 Virgin Radio online, 1031virginradio.com. The entire day will be streamed there. You can check it all out, which is awesome. Joined by Sir Richard Branson. Here is the question that comes to us via Twitter. Your hashtag, everyone, is BransonWPG. That's for the entire day. We are supporting resource assistance for youth, and this is the question. If, besides philanthropy and business, if there was one pursuit that you would like to dedicate more time to, what would it be? So not business, not philanthropy. Something just pure fun.
Okay. I love adventure, and I love doing adventures with my kids now that they've grown up. So, a month ago we climbed Mont Blanc, and standing on the highest mountain in Europe, looking out on a beautiful sunny day with one's children. It's fantastic to have those kinds of experiences. So I hope over the next few years to have many more experiences like that with my kids. We're going to go to space together, and that will be, obviously completely ridiculous. I'm fortunate to have two kids that take after myself in loving adventure.
We were talking about this last night, and you just sort of mentioned it in passing, but far and away, the number one thing you're being asked these days is about space. So let's get it all out in the open. Because, it seemed like a gamble when you first said, we're going to fly people to space. But where is it at right now?
I think it was, most people thought I was off my head when we first came up with the idea. But over the last 10 years, the whole program's gone pretty well. And we've had obviously the occasional hiccups over 10 years, but next year we will be going to space, and we're just about finished everything, and it is, as I say, ridiculously exciting. I think in this room, or the people listening, 8 out of 10, maybe even 9 out of 10, if they could afford it, and if we could offer them a return ticket, would love to go to space, and that's what we're determined to do, is to get the price down to a level where the kids who've just signed their books, one day they will be able to go to space and become astronauts, and that's our dream, and I think we can make that dream come true for others.
What's left for a story after you go to space? Like you said, you like adventure. If you could dedicate more time to anything, it would be adventures. You like going on adventures. You like going on adventures with your kids. After space, like what card are you going to play? What is one thing you haven't done yet that you want to do?
Well, the oceans haven't been explored. I mean, there's only 3 people who've been below 20,000 feet in the oceans, and I'm an oceanic elder, so I'm dedicated quite a lot of my life to trying to protect the species in the oceans. And unless you actually can find out what's going on in the oceans, you can't properly protect them. So we're building a little submarine, and next year we hope to go down to the deepest place in the Atlantic, the Puerto Rican Trench, which is about 30,000 foot down in this small sub, and start mapping out the oceans, exploring the oceans, seeing what's going on down there, learning about. We think that maybe about 80% of species are undiscovered, still to be discovered in the oceans. There are going to be some strange species down there, so it's going to be quite eerie heading on down, but exciting.
What are the elders? There's something. I don't know fully the story with the elders.
Well, we've got two groups of elders. One is headed up by Nelson Mandela and Archbishop Tutu and Kofi Annan, and that's 12 wonderful men and women, and they go into conflict situations in the world and try to resolve conflicts. And they've had some successes already, and hopefully over the years to come, they can stop a lot of conflicts. So that's one organisation. And the other organisation is called the Oceanic Elders, which is a group of concerned people about the oceans. We're trying, for instance, to stop shark finning, which about 1.5 million sharks a week get slaughtered just for their fins, for shark fin soup. Trying to get countries to ban it. Trying to protect the rays in the oceans, which are again being slaughtered for their gills. The beautiful manta rays. Fortunately, I mean, the one success story has been the whales. I mean, yes, Japan still take a few and Norway still take a few, but The whales are now beginning to come back, and they're such beautiful, beautiful creatures.
Where did it come from? I assume it's from your upbringing, I mean, you have literally hundreds of companies, you have billions of dollars, and instead of abusing your position, whether it's a position of power or influence, when did you make the conscious decision that I'm going to use this for good? Like, I know all the stories about back when you started the magazine, right? That's what started it all. And even then, you were offering counseling to students. Where did that come from? Who gave you that?
I think it's in most people, but most people don't get into a position where they can make a difference. I mean, you make an enormous difference. When you're on the air and when you're off the air, you equally get out there and make a difference. And I think, we're both in a fortunate position where, we're well known. We have got resources. People respect us, and if you get into that position, you've got to go and make a difference. And I think being a business leader also means I'm an entrepreneur. So, if you're looking at conflict situations in the world, I can, maybe look at ways of trying to address conflicts in an entrepreneurial way,
right?
Rather than say leaving it up to a big bureaucratic organization to try to do it. So
that has happened in your life, even without your choosing, where you were asked to call in and sort of not peacekeep situations, but just because you were not politically affiliated, but you had influence, right? That's happened several times.
Yes, I mean, we've had a number of situations where we've tried and failed, and a number of situations where we succeeded. The one where we tried and failed was in the lead up to the Iraq War. We felt there must be another way than invading Iraq and killing and maiming 600,000 or 700,000 people. And we thought if we could persuade Saddam Hussein to step down and go and live in Libya, that would resolve the need to do it. And Nelson Mandela agreed to fly there. Kofi Annan agreed to fly there to try to persuade him to do that. And the day the plane was due to take off, the bombing started, and the meeting never took place. But I think the important thing is that you just get a group of people out there who've got influence in the world, and they should try to get these situations resolved.
You have a confidence where you can wade into situations. You're not afraid of controversy. You don't seem to filter your comments. I was watching all the your comments about the United States and their war on drugs, or their failed war on drugs. Do you worry about the consequences of things you do or say, or whether you're going to fail? Where do you get that confidence? Because I don't think everyone has that. I don't think I do.
If I may say, I think Canada also has a failed war on drugs and has a lot to answer for. Yeah, I mean, I study situations quite clearly. I mean, I'm on a global commission which has studied the war on drugs for the last 2 years, which has 15 ex-presidents who all realised that they should have done something about this when they were presidents, but anyway, now that they're no longer presidents, they're working very hard to try to change the war on drugs. And basically, what we are saying is that drugs should not be treated as a criminal problem; they should be treated as a health problem, and that countries that look after people who've got drug problems and try to help wean them off their drugs and try to, give them clean needles and give them methadone, and they're having great success. Those who are locking up, hundreds of thousands of people, that is not working. It's not working in Canada, and it's not working in America.
The week before, Prince Harry was in Las Vegas, and we saw the photos of what he was doing in Las Vegas. The week before, he was on your island, Necker Island. Why did you not tell him no phones in Vegas? I'm not holding you responsible, but in a roundabout way, I am.
Yeah, I just think it's very, I think what goes on in Vegas should stay in Vegas.
That's supposed to be the rule, but people break it.
And he's a single man, and if he wants a bit of fun, why shouldn't he have a bit of fun? And so I don't think he needed to be told. I think the people around him should have had the courtesy to, let him be a single man. and I don't think it's done him any harm. I mean, I think most people respect the fact that he's single and he was having a good time.
I want to revisit the Pledge for Change. We are live from the Fairmont with Richard Branson. This is all streaming live, 1031virginradio.com, where you can also make the Pledge for Change. We will revisit that topic. Can we play our jam? Poor Chrissy Troy's been... Well, yeah, she wore red, and she looks like $1 million, everyone. So
at one point, I'd like to sit
and she's stroking me. I like this. I mean, I think
that is actually happening. So that's good.
I'd like to, at one point, too, talk about you being a father and the way you travel and all of the adventures you've had. And I thought it very interesting. The one thing you asked when you put your life into someone else's hands, it was a very interesting question. And perhaps we'll get to that in just a few minutes.
Pledge for Change, and that. Can we do our jam, Lloyd? Yeah, buddy.